Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve. This is a real estate podcast that helps you navigate the often complex world of buying, selling and renting real estate. I'm Steve Athanates, the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. I'm joined today by Charles Kimmorley, one of our most senior salespeople at NG Real Estate, also one of our partners. Charles is going to discuss with us today the current state of the market and what's actually happening in the real estate market. So welcome along, Charles.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here at last.
No worries, mate. Great to have you. So, Charles, you're selling about 100 homes a year, okay? I'm doing something similar. So between the two of us, we're seeing a lot of buyers and definitely a lot of sellers. You know, just to give us a different take on it, what are you finding is happening in today's real estate market?
Probably what I'm seeing in today's market, I'm sure you're quite similar, through open homes, property inquiries, it's quite consistent and still strong, which is encouraging for sellers in today's market. Probably in comparison to sort of 6 to 12 months ago, when it was absolutely nuts. We're pulling up to open homes 5 to 10 minutes early and, the street was full and everyone's, tapping their watches saying, you're going to open up the house and you're early and you're saying, relax. The stampede coming through with 40, 50 groups. That's definitely relaxed. But, today we're still, personally, consistently getting about 10 to 20 groups through open homes, which I think is consistent with your numbers as well. Which, as I said, is still encouraging for today's market. They're still moving. Probably days on market has gone up by 2 to 3 weeks on average. But yeah, still super strong on my end.
Yep. Look, I would say I'm finding it the same way. In terms of pricing, have you seen any change in price?
I think, as talked in, meetings, it really does depend on the house, the suburb, the more desirable locations. Still getting really, really good foot traffic through. Numbers, prices are still holding, really, really well. Some of them, I think the big thing today is obviously, sheer stock is down. We're thinking about 43% compared to sort of January, February, last year. So what comes on the market today, it's not hanging around, and the quality of stock, if it does come and it's there, you'll get swept up for good money. So I think that top end market, and obviously you're facilitating a lot of those as well, they're moving quite quickly. Yes, we're probably not getting as many offers on that sort of product compared to 12 months ago, but the offers are still coming, and I think dollar really hasn't dropped off too much because there's nothing on the market. That's why prices are holding.
Look, again, I would agree. What we are finding in that top end market is that there are still quite a number of buyers, but there's not a stupid amount of buyers.
Of course.
But the buyers that we are seeing are genuine. They are really looking to buy something, and they will pay if the right property presents itself. I agree. I think top end is still going up in some respects. Some of the prices we're seeing, and if you think about over the last probably even 6 to 8 months, the amount of properties that we've sold over $1 million, we've never seen anything like this before.
Especially acreage.
Yeah. Yeah, so acreage has gone crazy. So
it's still holding well, which is good.
In those suburbs like Deaving Heights, Pine Mountain, Kimmerly, Corona Downs, Barellan Point, those sorts of areas, sales in the 1 to 1.5 is fairly standard.
Absolutely.
No worries. Now, we've obviously talked a bit about top end. In our bottom end of the market, which is now probably in that sort of, anything sub 400 is probably considered bottom end in today's market, which is, if you go back a couple of years ago, there was lots and lots of stock under 400. Today, how many properties do you think we would list under 400,000?
Well, definitely nowhere near as, 15 months ago, 18 months ago. Obviously, the average sale price, even probably 2.5 years ago, was 350, or, maybe 3 years ago, around 350,000 in Ipswich. Now it's obviously above 500, which is good. But someone called me today and said, what have you got for around 400? So mate, the cheapest thing I've got's a block of land out of Marburg for 400 plus.
And look, I think that's an interesting analogy where you're saying to someone, what's the cheapest thing you've got? And it is a block of land.
Yeah.
we used to have lots of cheap houses, and that cheap end of the market really doesn't exist anymore.
I don't think it's not that it doesn't exist. I guess personally myself and yourself as well, like I'm not facilitating, too many sub fours. Potentially they would be maybe flood affected in today's market if they're in that sort of money, or 2 beds, 1 baths is probably where you're going to see that sort of sub 4 money. But they're still moving, I think, that bottom end market today, because that's the affordable price for a lot of people now who have been blown out from the price surge in the last sort of 12 to 15 months. I guess what I'm finding with that sort of bottom end market, that sometimes it is harder to facilitate than this top end market, because buyers coming through that particular market are probably being a little bit more pedantic, through building and pests and etc. 12 to 15 months ago, I missed the boom. The inspector could have said the house was falling over. It didn't matter. Buyers wanted the house and they didn't want to miss out, and capitalise on that market, with the potential to flip and resell, because that's what everyone was doing. But today, if the house is in a bit of trouble,
it's going to fall over, yeah. Well, talking about, obviously, that lower section of the market and buyers missing out, let's talk about buyers. Now, we obviously see a lot of them. People are trying to make offers and trying to buy properties. You're a dominant agent. You're selling over 100 properties a year. What sort of tips would you have for buyers in today's market? What can you do to help maximise your chances of getting the property?
I think what I'd like to say is, I'm not the bad guy, when it comes to selling a house. I think sometimes we get a really bad rap in today's market. So, we're getting these numbers through open homes. Buyers don't want to talk to you. In most cases, they're not. Or, you're trying to get their details. Hi, how are you? Full name, mobile, all that sort of stuff. They're very reluctant, to give you those details. Or if you call, it seems to be such a hard battle sometimes to try and communicate, with the buyer to get a clear offer on the table, So what I would say, don't be afraid or scared of us to, just ask the open questions. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, we're there to sell. Owner's intentions are we're selling. We're on the market. I'm certainly not looking to play games with buyers come through. So, obviously we hand out offer to purchase forms, or, the Cognito links where it just takes you straight to it digitally. Just fill it out correctly. You can always send me, text message, or give me a phone call and say, hi Charles, I'm presenting an offer, blah, blah, blah. Usually, obviously, post open homes, we're calling back these buyers, etc. But sometimes, you get onto no one. Might get on to have 15, 20 groups for an open house, call, donuts. So if you do want to present an offer, just be clear. Be open about it. I'm not looking to play games. Fill out the form correctly. We talk from there. But it doesn't have to be a scary situation, unfortunately, like maybe some agents have, made buyers feel, pressure, etc.
So just to summarise, we obviously work for the seller, okay, but we are not the buyer's enemy.
Of course.
We're there to facilitate a process. They're a vital cog in the process. We need them in order to be able to purchase the property.
Definitely. Just as important.
Yeah, give us the information, communicate. We'll be honest and open and transparent. Be open and honest and transparent with us, and we'll help you buy a house.
Of course.
Beautiful.
It's as simple as that as well.
No, all right, beautiful, mate. Now, just to finish off, any general comments on where you think the market's going to go in the months leading forward? We've obviously got interest rates, inflation still highly topical. What do you think's going to happen?
If I had a crystal ball, I wish
we've had this conversation. I don't have a crystal ball. No. A previous guest didn't have a crystal ball. You don't have one either.
Oh, okay.
Shocking.
Too slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably from all the indicators, I think with how many fixed rates becoming unstuck sort of around the May is what the big indicators are.
Yep.
There's probably about 150,000 here in Queensland, what we will see, or 800,000 in Australia, so we think there's about 150 in Queensland, 50,000. So come sort of May, when these sub-2 interest rates become unstuck, a lot of people, they'll
pop out somewhere near 6%.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of financial pressure on a lot of people who have, maxed themselves to the eyeball. So I think a lot of people will try and hang on for 1 to 2 to 3 months, but maybe come the end of July, heading into August, we will see an influx of properties hit the market. It's sad in a way, but I feel like there probably will be a fair few fire sales and potentially good buys hit the market then, but who knows?
All right, so if you're a seller, sell now.
If you're a buyer, still buy now.
Buy now as well. All right, sell now, buy now. All right, okay, excellent.
Look out for some good deals coming potentially, but obviously I don't think the market's overpriced here in Ipswich. In comparison to your bigger cities in Brisbane or Sydney or Melbourne, you're bang for your buck out here in Ipswich compared to into there with 30 minutes out of Brisbane. I think what you can buy today in comparison to in there, it's great value here in Ipswich, and I think it's only going to continue to go up as well. I think Ipswich, there's still a lot of capital growth to come, which is exciting. So, Yeah,
and look, I think that's a great comment to make. In Ipswich, pound for pound, dollar for dollar.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you get a lot for your money here. So regardless of what happens with interest rates, inflation, it's still good value for money compared to just about anywhere else. So continue to buy and sell. The market will always trade. So
I think that's what a lot of the market's starting to do as well. Like the sort of buys coming through today, we are getting a lot of Brisbane traffic. I'm sure you're starting to see that as well, like more consistently. Because they are starting to realise it's only 30 minutes down the highway.
Exactly.
It's not that far out. So,
okay, thanks for tuning in to hear and see more of On the Couch with Steve. Please subscribe below. Special thanks to our guest, Charles Kimmorley. Thanks for your time today, mate. I really appreciate it. If you have an opinion about what you've seen and heard today, please share your thoughts with us on our socials. Stay tuned for more. I'm Steve Athanates. See you soon.